Good morning and welcome to the Christmas Eve United Stand ramble as requested by you. It is Christmas Eve and we welcome you to this ramble. It's not raining, it's a little bit windy. There's a lot of dogs around. In fact, I've not seen this many dogs since the over 50s disco down the Nag's Head the other night, but there we go. Got my eldest with me, but look, we've got little Robbie. Where's Robbie? Why is that not working? There he is, on a little walk with us. Lots to get into though, lots to get into. I think I've called the video Fellaini sold. Optimistic, but if there's one Christmas present I would like this year, it would be for Fellaini to be sold. I don't think it's going to happen, even in January, which would be next year, but I would love it to happen. Yeah, I'd absolutely love it to happen. But I was posed with a few questions because I was obviously one of these the other day. I do quite like doing them, but I was on air for over half an hour yesterday with lots the other day talking about transfers, which I'm going to talk about a little bit in a minute. But some of you posed some very good questions, one of which I'm going to start off with, which obviously I'm very adamantly behind Mourinho, and some people feel that I was very adamantly against Van Gaal. You probably picked it up 18 months into his tenure, to be honest. That's when I turned, was this time last year. Watch the Christmas message tomorrow, it'll be better than the Queen. It's up at 3 o'clock on the United Stand. That's all recorded and ready to go out tomorrow at 3 o'clock. A little bit more about Fellaini in that, but not Fellaini, Van Gaal. But the question I was posed is, what would it take for me to turn against Mourinho? And I thought, that's a bloody good question, because it's not even in my psyche at the moment, and I don't think it's probably in many of yours either. Drop us a like if you want, if this is live. I'm not sure. It's windy, the internet should be good, but you never know. So what would it take for me to turn against Mourinho? It's a bloody good question, and I suppose you lot should get answering it as well. For me, personally, and I know I say for me a lot, but personally, for me, I don't know. Trying to find Robbie, but he's so bloody fast. Full of shit today as well. 2 big ones, Christmas logs, but so small. Where is it? What would turn me against Mourinho? I would have to say, it's so difficult, but it's not going to happen either. I think he's the right man, and I would give him 18 months, and I think we're already seeing better than what we've seen under any manager since Sir Alex Ferguson. I want to talk about Mad Moyes in a minute, but I think nothing this season, as stupid as that sounds, you're almost living in a fantasy world really, because I'm trying to think what it would be that would turn me against him. I suppose it would be picking Fellaini every week in the starting 11 and us finishing below 12th and the football being bad. I mean, that was sort of what did for the other managers, so I suppose that would be what would do for him. But no, I'm massively behind Mourinho. I can't see a situation where I would turn against him, and I think he is the right man for Manchester United. But I think it's a good question. What would be? I think, as people say, you know, how long do you think Mourinho will be at Manchester United? He obviously wants to sign a new contract. He's got a 3-year contract. I expect him to be here for 5 years. Axel Tuanzebe's been called up to the squad for the Sunderland game. I think he wants to use youth, but it's a bit of a risk for him at the moment because he needs points. Oi, oi! Oi, oi! Robbie! Oi! We're going in the woods. So yeah, I just think that potentially for me it would be, how will it end? I think it'll end with maybe a fallout or something like that. I don't know. I think I've seen Mourinho at Chelsea, I've seen him at Real Madrid, and I've never seen him as happy as he is at Manchester United. It's the ultimate job, and I can't see an end at the moment. There's always an end. Everything always comes to the end, but I'm very, very happy with it. I'll bring in Moyes there because I've read a little bit more overnight from the Sunderland preview that I did last night, that he's come out with some absolutely fantastic comments. I mean, he's just deluded, this man, absolutely deluded. He was awful at Manchester United, and he forgets he was awful in Spain, and he's pretty much awful for a crap Premier League team, yet he still thinks he deserves the Manchester United job. Some really fantastic stuff that he came out with. That Cesc Fabregas, he always felt he was going to sign. Well, he must be the only one, because I thought it was fantastical. Fantasy world signing. Gareth Bale was a player that he always felt that was a Manchester United player, and they were right in and they offered the right money. But again, bad research, because Bale always wanted to go to Real Madrid. And then apparently, obviously, he got sacked in the dog, I can hear a dog, get her on a lead. And apparently, well, he got sacked in the March, didn't he? Cruz was going to sign in the summer if we hadn't sacked him. How bloody convenient is that? Oof, found a tennis ball. But was Cruz going to sign for Manchester United for David Moyes? Oh, I don't know about that. I really don't. I can't see it. I really don't see that as a realistic signing of any proportion. And to be honest, he could have signed Messi. The football was still going to be bad. I mean, I think David Moyes is just really sour grapes, and it comes across as that. No sympathy. Boo him if you want tomorrow. I think he's caused a lot of problems at Manchester United. Going back to the very start, Fellaini. People say I pick on Fellaini. I've even had people saying to me this week, oh, he was really good in his first 2 seasons for Manchester United. I've been consistent on his whole time at Manchester United that he's crap. He's scored a couple of good goals here and there. He's made a difference here and there. But it's really, really isolated moments. And let's be honest, the amount of minutes he's playing, it's inevitable he's going to do something at some point. But an awful signing, and we've got Mr. Moyes to thank for that. So, rubbish, not happy about it. Would love him to get sold. The season report on... I know somebody else has done this. We were always going to do this. I've moved it from the Christmas message to today because I covered some other stuff in that. What mark would I give Mourinho out of 10 for his tenure at Manchester United so far? And I've sort of broken it down into various areas, really. There is bloody loads of dogs around today. And I'm just having to keep Robbie on a tight rein. Transfers, I think if you can get over 8 out of 10 in transfers, that is fantastic. You know, the information we get about transfers, we had a really good summer last year, apart from Mbolo, which I keep having to apologise for. But I think if you can be 80% right about transfers, whether you're a manager signing them or a source feeding it out to your followers or whatever, or a news agency, you're doing pretty well, very, very well. So I would give Mourinho a good 9 out of 10 for his signings so far. I think they have been stupendous, absolutely brilliant. Bay, brilliant. You know, one of those sort of signings that really just out of nowhere, which really impresses you. Mkhitaryan is the player we always thought he would be. Pogba and Zlatan been steadily getting better, so very happy with those. I'd give him 9 out of 10 for signings, which is superb. Results could have been better. I mean, I sound like a broken record with Stoke, Burnley, Arsenal, West Ham, Everton. 10 points dropped there, so you can't really give anything. I'd give a 7 out of 10, which is generous. It could have been 6, but I think we've really pulled it around with 3 brilliant results in the league recently, and obviously the cup form's been okay. I mean, 7.5 is probably about right, but we could have been up there with a 9, really. So, but in an overall score for Mourinho and his management, I'd give him a 9 out of 10, and if it was, you know, A's and B's, I'd probably give him an A-. I think it's been superb, which is contradictory when you talk about the actual results, but he's had to contend with a hell of a lot. I mean, the first manager to consistently drop Rooney, which is fantastic, because that needed to be done. The issues he's faced with a press that just can't stand him, the turning things around from a very, very poor September and October. There's a dog up there, come on. And yeah, just very, very, very pleased with what he's done. I think he's had a lot to contend with. I really do, and I'm very consistent about this, I really am a believer that it's alright, they're not coming this way. There's a bit of trees there you can go into. So I'm rambling on the ramble, but I think I'm trying to defend the manager that I really, really do back and appreciate. And I think it's been at times very, very demanding and stressful for him, which he would never really let on, because he's not that sort of manager. He takes it all on, a bit like Sir Alex did. But I think he's done a superb job, and I think whilst the results in the league certainly haven't reflected that in September, October, half of November, what he's had to contend with, you know, I called Schneiderlin a bottler. I'm coming on to that now. I've tweeted it out, and a lot of people were like, oh, I'd love Mark Goldbridge to explain why he's calling Morgan Schneiderlin a bottler, and because he's demanded to leave Manchester United, and yet Nicky Butt and Darren Fletcher aren't, because they demanded to leave Manchester United. Darren Fletcher and Nicky Butt actually performed consistently over a number of years in a Manchester United shirt and left to further their careers because they couldn't get in the team, first team players anymore. But they more than wore those shirts and performed in them shirts. Schneiderlin demanding to leave. I really have a lot of respect for players who demand to leave any club when they've done sod all in that club. It's great you're leaving, and I think, you know, it's probably right that you should go, but demanding to leave because you're not getting in the team, I think you're an embarrassment, mate, to be honest. I think it's an absolute embarrassment that you have been this season with a new manager. You know, everybody had the Van Gaal excuse, everybody did. You know, you look at Mata, Herrera, Carrick, people like that didn't really perform that great under Van Gaal, but a new manager comes in and they've been superb, especially Mata and Herrera, who've really proved what quality players they are, and Carrick is just Michael Carrick, isn't he? So yeah, I'm very, very pleased with that. But Schneiderlin, you know, you had an opportunity under a new manager to really produce the goods and you know, win a shirt at Manchester United, and a lot of us expected us to do that. And ultimately, halfway through the season, you're asking to leave because Fellaini's ahead of you. That's wrong, but that's embarrassing. Schweinsteiger, frozen out in the summer, he's ahead of you. So I've got no time for Schneiderlin anymore. If he's asked to leave, I think you can ask to leave from a position of strength when, you know, you've done something for the club. He's done nothing for us, and I agree with him being sold, but his whole stance of, oh, I want to leave when you've done nothing, that's my explanation as to why he's a bottler. I think it's an absolute embarrassment, and that will tarnish his career, really, that he had to leave Manchester United because Marion Fellaini was getting in the team ahead of you, and even Schweinsteiger, who had been frozen out. I mean, I suppose that's more reflective because you could say that Fellaini's in the team for his height, but Schweinsteiger, Schneiderlin in the summer, Mourinho obviously made a choice that Schneiderlin was his preference, and ultimately that has not worked out, has it? So that's my explanation with that. In relation to transfers, I do think that we will see more people leaving this summer, this January, than we will see coming in the door. Lindelof is ding dang done. I've only ever been once wrong when I've said a deal is ding dang done. That was Embolo. Been right 7 or 8 times now over the period United stand, so you can pretty much take that as gospel. Well over the 80% that you need to be, so very happy with that. Who do I think will go? I think Schweinsteiger's obviously going to go. I think Schneiderlin's clearly going to go. I think that's great business if we can get 20 million for him. Memphis meant to be going as part of the 40 million deal that DiMarzio broke last night. That's great money. I'm a bit concerned about Memphis because he's a flair player, and as much as I think he needs to go, and I think Mourinho will take the money because he doesn't like the player's attitude, as a playing ability style, he might be worth just keeping on the loan, because what if he went off to Everton and did quite well? But I think we'll take the money and run, which you can't really argue with. He's had nearly 2 years at the club, like Schneiderlin, and he's just not performed. And if your attitude's not right, I don't care how good you are. Look at Ravel Morrison, you know, fantastic talent, described as the better talent than Pogba, but attitude stunk, never worked out, and that's what happens. So I'd trust him on that. So Schneiderlin, Memphis and Schweinsteiger I think will go. The golden nugget would be Fellaini for me. People say, what do you want for Christmas? In relation to the United stand and Manchester United, it would be Marion Fellaini being sold. I'd love that. And I know. Oi, come here. What do you want? Fellaini sold. I want Fellaini sold. Do you want the Fellaini sold? Yeah, I do as well. So yeah, that would be great. I don't think that will happen. Signings, I think we will sign somebody else. I've got no idea who it will be, which is great. I think what Mourinho and the way he sort of begs the question is this. It's like, he said it a couple of weeks ago, we might not be buying anybody unless somebody becomes available. James Rodriguez is available. Could that happen? Seamus Coleman, could that happen? Karsdorp at Feyenoord, could that happen? You know, Bakayoko at Monaco, could that happen? You know, it's exciting times, and I think what he's doing is, as I've said before, he's buying in players that are going to make us better as a club, and they've got some youth to them. In relation to the youth, I've been I'll give Mourinho a mark out of 10 there. I'll give him a 5. I think it's been piss poor, to be honest. You shouldn't swear on Christmas Eve. It's been pretty poor, and I would be honest about that. 5, that's a nice shot, look. Daughter in the distance and the dog. I'll give him a 5 out of 10 for his youth. It's just not been very good. Rashford played out on the wing. I think Rashford's a fantastic player and should be playing more up front. there's been more than enough opportunity for him to be involved. Fosu Mensah's ready. I think there's been more than enough opportunity to get him involved. I mean, playing Ashley Young at right back, you know, Fosu Mensah, and he played awful in that game, Ashley Young at right back. He was obviously played to put crosses in and he didn't do it. Fosu Mensah could have played that game. So I think there's been opportunities where he should have used the youth and he hasn't. Positive to see Twansi be training with the first squad. Another player I feel probably is ready. So those three really I think are ready and they should be playing more. So I'd give him a 5 out of 10. Do I think that'll improve towards the back end of the season? No. I think the back end of the season isn't the time to be testing out youth really. That's where you need results. And I think that will be reflected again by Mourinho not really using the youth. So long term, I think he will. I think he will, and I think he has to. Getting surrounded by bloody walkers. This is the only problem about doing a ramble. Idiots walking their dogs, just nosing in areas that they never would normally do. Oh, it's a lovely Christmas walk. Hey, what's he doing with his fucking phone? Shove it up your arse and piss off and get away from me and my dog. I'm only joking. It's Christmas. But yeah, so I think the youth will be used more long term, but not this season. And it's my only negative score for Mourinho, I think. But when you look at his career and what he's done at other clubs, he's not somebody who uses the youth that much, and I think that's something he would probably not admit in an open forum, but I think he's fully aware that he does need to use it a little bit more. I know Lingard's been quite successful. He's probably been our best youth product this season, but he's not really youth anymore. He's 24 years of age. Rashford's the one, needs to play a little bit more, and hopefully he will do. What else, everybody? Well, I just want to talk a little bit about Christmas because it is Christmas Eve, and say a massive Merry Christmas to all you lot. I mean, I think we've stumbled on another format here that I'd like to keep doing because the seasons will change. Hopefully we'll get a snow one, maybe in January and February, and the seasons will change, and summer and all that lot. I think it works really well. Probably need a little bit more planning, not more planning, but just needs, you know, one a week's probably about right. Got to control Robbie's ego. Don't want it going out of control like his namesake, Savage. But yeah, I think that's a great thing. I think the way that the United stand has grown has been superb. Again, I think, you know, totally down to you lot. Skype Goldbridge is probably going to change the name of that, but ultimately it will stay what it is. I think that's a brilliant format, and it's down to you, all you lot. The watch along is a consistent theme of the channel now. So loads of interactive stuff, which I think is where this channel needs to be. Just to quote a song I heard the other day, you know, you're the voice, try and understand it, make it loud and make it real, because we're not going to sit in silence, we're not going to live in fear. Whoa, whoa, you know the song. But that's what I mean, that's fan opinion, is that the media are terrified of it. We do get attacked quite a lot, little subtle ways to try and shut us up. I think, you know, to be honest, I think clubs, I don't know about clubs, some clubs don't like it, but the reality is, take the fans out of football, there's no football. The reason Rooney gets 300 grand a week is because of the fans, and if he doesn't appreciate that, then he's not that bright, because it might come from sponsors and Sky, but who do you think the sponsors are trying to target? It's the fans. Who do you think Sky are getting their money from? It's the fans. It's ultimately because we all love football, we want to watch football, that's why there's so much money in football. And morally, you know, there should be money in heart surgeons and brain surgeons, because they're the people who do the real hard work in life. And but nobody pays to watch them do open heart surgery, do they? They should do, but we're not going to pay 30 quid a month of a subscription to watch it. So that's why footballers get so much money, because we pump the money into football. It's the way of the world. But that's down to the fans, and I think it's one of the reasons, the only reason we started the United stand is because fans don't have a voice. They get taken their mickey out of, really. Really they do, because there is no voice. It's sort of like, we'll take your money, but fall in line. We don't want to hear from you. We're going to listen to scripted ex-professional footballers talking nonsense, feeding you stats that don't mean anything. Just sit and watch it and keep paying for it. And I think the ground is changing. My plan for 2017 is to bring more people like Sander, who's come in from just doing Skype Goldbridge. There's a couple of more we've got our eyes on. There's probably a few more of you that not even Skyped in before or got involved. And that's what I want to keep doing, and we've spoken about that as a channel. New faces, some people have left this year, not forgotten, brilliant voices and brilliant opinions, but we'll need more in 2017. That's why we do the Skype in, that's why we do the watch alongs. So that's what we're looking for in the new year, and we're always looking for new ideas. I mean, to stumble literally on a ramble, United ramble, it is a real bonus. So Merry Christmas to you all. I hope you've had a fantastic year, and I hope 2017 is a good one for you. I think it's going to be a fantastic one for Manchester United. I think 2018 will be the key, because obviously in a year's time we'll only be halfway through next season as we approach 2018, my prediction is that we'll win the title in May 2018, which is the season after this one. I think we're going to have a good season this year. You want a prediction? I think we'll finish in the top 4. I think we'll win the Europa League. I think we'll win the League Cup. I think the FA Cup might be a stretch, and but I'd like to win that. But I think we'll get the League Cup and the Europa League and the top 4, and I think that ultimately will be a very good season for us. I think Manchester United, I've been saying it for a number of months now, we're going to click at some point. We're nearly, you could argue that maybe we've clicked already. I think there might be a few more divots in the road, but I think we will click. We'll go on a consistent run towards the end of the season where we're winning a lot of games, and we'll take that into the summer where he'll buy a couple of big signings, impossible to do in January, probably Griezmann and a couple of others, and then we'll take that form and understanding into the new year, and we'll be pretty much unstoppable, and Mourinho will do what he always does, win the league title in his first 2 years at a club. That's what's going to happen, and I'll be amazed if it doesn't. That's why I was always happy when we got Mourinho, because that's what he guarantees, a title in the first 2 years. We should have took him on in 2013 when Sir Alex Ferguson left. I don't buy into this nonsense that he wasn't available. I think he clearly wanted the job. I think Manchester United didn't want to give it to him. I think they've given it to him now out of desperation, because they know that they made mistakes with back to that clown Moyes. I mean, a lot of people quite rightly blame Sir Alex Ferguson for backing him. Sir Alex Ferguson didn't always get it right, and he certainly did get it wrong there. Come on! But I'm getting absolute. You know, the one thing I dislike about dog walkers is they home in on you like flies around a shit. We're clearly walking around doing our own thing, and we're just absolutely getting followed by people who just want to come over and say Merry Christmas. Well, shove your Christmas up your backside. I'm doing the United stand. Yes, so tomorrow, Christmas message at 3 o'clock. That will be 3 o'clock because the Queen does her speech at 3 o'clock, and we are going to do our United stand one at 3 o'clock. It's good. I've edited it today. There's a little bit more to add in, but I hope you'll enjoy it. It's a good message for the year. It's getting windy here anyway. Thanks everybody who's tuned in. Whether you're watching it live or not, drop a like on the video if you wanted to do more of these. The first one was very successful. I hope you've enjoyed this one. And all I can say is Merry Christmas. Hopefully I've covered everything you wanted to about transfers. Summary, I think 4 will go out in January. I think 2 will come in. I don't know who the second one is, but Lindelof will be the first. The season, Europa League, we'll win it. Top 4, we'll get it, and we'll finish above Liverpool. That's very important. And Arsenal, I'll add that in. League Cup, I think we've got a great chance of winning that. And FA Cup, obviously, we don't know until we get the draw. Well, we'll just see how we go. I think it's going to be a good year, 2017, for United, and I'm looking forward to it. So, like the video, get involved with the channel, tell your friends about the United stand. It is your channel. Just keep spreading the word. People say, well, how do you grow? Well, we don't grow through advertising or anything like that. We grow through word of mouth, and that's the way we've always done it. So I hope you feel part of it. I hope you feel part of the United stand family, army, because that's what we want. We want your opinions. This show today dictated to by the tweet I put out. What do you want to discuss? We'll always go off that. We just want to make you happy this Christmas and next Christmas and next year. But I'm off to the shops to get some food in now. I'm absolutely surrounded by dogs. It's really annoying me. I just cannot believe the amount of idiots there are out with dogs. But have a fantastic Christmas. I'll speak to you tomorrow on the Christmas message, and obviously we're playing Sunderland on Boxing Day, Monday at 3 o'clock. So we'll be live at 2 o'clock with a Christmas watch along with the team news. Very interesting. Be interesting. I think Mkhitaryan needs to come straight back into that team. Will Bay play? Probably not a good idea to play Bay on reflection, because Rojo and Jones may as well keep playing, because Bay is off to the African nations. So probably not much use in doing that. I do worry about Darmian at left back, but this is Sunderland, so we should win it. Thanks everyone for watching, and I shall see you all tomorrow with the Christmas message. Merry Christmas, and we'll finish off with a little Christmas message. Robbie, I'm going to say Merry Christmas. Are you interested? See you later. Merry Christmas.